So you're backing up your databases. You think you're good to go. I would question that a little bit. Anthony Fortner already said data is having backups of your database enough. So you have your database, or you have your several databases, or you have a multitude of databases on many instances. And you have a backup. Are you good? Well, that depends. How many backups do you have? If you're only backing up to one place, to one share, or to even the same SQL server, I hope not, even to just the same server your SQL database is running on, then you're probably not in a good spot. That's a single point of failure. You want to save your backups to a file share. You want to save it somewhere safe or in the cloud. If you don't save it to 3 different locations, are you really even protected? You don't want a situation where one machine goes down, you lose everything. Be saving to more than one location, preferably locations that aren't on premises. That way, if there's a major incident, you don't lose everything. How often are you backing up? Just because you have a backup doesn't mean you're protected. If you backed up last weekend and there's a major incident just now, then you may be able to roll back, but you're rolling back to a point in time that's way in the past. And most businesses, 7 days, 10 days, 14 days ago is way too long. Just because you ran a backup and it's working, and just because you set up automation and has automated that process for you, so that way it can happen on a regular basis, doesn't mean it'll always work. Sometimes things silently fail. I suggest you have a second process that is just for alerting. So maybe that is checking that the backups are in fact happening. Maybe that is checking how old the most recent backup is. If you are backing up every week, maybe if you find the most recent backup is 8 days old, this process should warn you. Alerting email is fine. Dashboards are great too. Just make sure you know if something goes wrong with your backup. That being said, just because you're taking the backup doesn't mean you can restore. If you can't restore that backup, if there's something wrong with your process, if something is getting corrupted, then it doesn't matter how many backups you have. They're just waste of space at that point. So I strongly recommend you have something in place that'll test those backups. You can't rely on yourself or someone on your team to test them on a regular basis. Bad things happen when you least expect them. Do what you can to make sure the restores are done in a somewhat automated fashion. You can literally just use PowerShell or some other programming language to automate it. In my case, I'm really fond of using the restore process in my continuous integration and continuous deployment workflow. So every time someone interacts and makes a change to database, even on dev, hey, this isn't working because your restore isn't happening. Your backups take up space. How do you know there's enough space in your backup location? If your answer is because the backup failed, maybe you're not doing it correctly. I strongly recommend part of your alerting, part of your dashboarding, part of your automation, you have something making sure there's space so you can be notified when you're trending towards an incident, right? You want to find out that you're running out of space before the backup fails. Get ahead of it. Don't just be reactionary. So hopefully you're not just backing up. You are backing up to multiple locations. You're doing it in an automated fashion. You have a separate process that will alert you, not just a dashboard you have to remember to check on, but alert you that there's something wrong with your backup process. You should be making sure that everything is actually capable of being restored. Don't trust that during a major emergency that the backups are good, they were stored correctly, and there's no corruption. Cross all your T's, dot all your I's. Make sure your backups are good, safe, and can be restored. It is the primary responsibility of a database administrator to make sure that they can recover an emergency. Do your backups, do them often, do them automated, and put them in, I'd say, at least 3 different locations. Did I miss anything? Is there anything that you would add to this? Comment below. Don't forget, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Anthony Fortner with Ready Set Data.